5 months after the chaotic evacuation of US troops from Afghanistan, testimonies from multiple commanders involved in the operation on the ground have been released to the public. Details from the final days of the evacuation have come to light, covering almost everything from the planning of the evacuation to the life and death decisions made daily by US soldiers at the Hamid Karzai International Airport. The report also went into detail about the August 26th suicide attack at the airport that killed 13 US service members and up to 170 Afghans. According to the 82nd Airborne Division's commander, Sergeant Major David Pitt, the Marines guarding Abbey Gate were horribly exposed, and with the US having to partner with other countries, all running their own evacuations, it became extremely difficult to coordinate over security. Pitt further said that it was clear to those on the ground that there was a high probability that an attack was coming. The report revealed that unlike the north and west gates of the airport, that both had methodical checking systems and a minimised area of exposure, the Abbey Gate was just a large parking lot full of people. There were people sitting inside the checkpoint for days, just waiting for entry. The presence of other countries too meant that effectively everyone was responsible for security, not just the US Marines. CENTCOM's investigation further noted that one reason the Marines were so exposed was that they had focused on getting as many people as possible through Abbey Gate, while US forces had wanted to close the gate on the evening of August the 25th. British forces requested that the gate stay open since they had yet to complete their own evacuation. It was then decided that Abbey Gate would remain open until 9 o'clock in the morning on August the 27th. Investigators concluded that closing Abbey Gate earlier would have isolated British forces and could have led to conflict with the Taliban. CENTCOM's report also outlines that senior White House and State Department officials failed to grasp the Taliban's advance on Kabul and resisted efforts by US military leaders to evacuate US embassy personnel and Afghan allies weeks before the fall of the capital. This delay ultimately placed American troops in greater danger. The investigation provides the fullest account yet of the evacuation operation, which spanned 17 days and became one of President Biden's defining moments in office. WION's correspondent Anas Malik was reporting from Kabul, of course, throughout the Taliban takeover and the chaos, and he has sent us this report from Islamabad.
By all means, it's a reiteration of what we had been reporting, that the evacuation was ill-planned, it was hazy, and that the security measures were not up to speed, were not optimum, contrary to how it should have been. The fact that the takeover of the Taliban was so swift that it took everybody off guard, it took everybody by surprise, and then everybody, be that be the American forces, be that be the British Allied forces, or be that be others, they had just scrambled to get their things done. But it sheds light on the most important aspect of the fact that how horribly or horridly the Marines were exposed to this, to the traffic, the oncoming people at the Abbey Gate, for the fact that Abbey Gate was the closest in proximity from the Hamid Karzai International Airport's civilian side towards the Abbey Gate, because Abbey Gate is the entrance towards the military side. Now, it goes on to further shed light on how hasty was the evacuation, but one thing that has to be kept in mind is the fact that the US authorities itself cannot be kept aside from this evacuation, to the point that US diplomats were oblivious that on the 15th of August, when the Taliban were taking over Afghanistan, the US embassy had put out a tender, an inspection of a tender notice that was basically to construct a road from its embassy compound to Masood Circle, which was a 1.5 kilometers. So that actually goes on to show that nobody saw it coming, and it is easier to say that other troops would have been compromised, but it might just well be said that their own internal planning was not up to the mark either.